what got you into teaching history? Any fun is unexpected story from your journey?
So in high school, I swore I'd never come back to school. I hated it so much. But when I got to college, I learned how much I loved history, and I had a history professor who jumped up and down and acted like a turtle, and it was the funniest thing of my life. So I had to change my major, and I became a teacher.
How would you describe your vibe in the classroom when it comes to teaching history?
I think it's very inclusive and very calming. I try to make my classroom a comfortable one, and I try to make the lessons engaging instead of just, here's a fact, here's a fact.
How do you bring your students together for a lesson?
I usually just start teaching. I start with a story, or here's a story time, here's something crazy you didn't know, and then I have everybody with me.
What's a awful challenge you faced while teaching history, and how did you tackle it?
I always thought classroom management was going to be my biggest challenge, but my biggest challenge is not taking my students' problems home with me. I'm always very concerned about my students, and if I can't come up with a solution for you, then I worry about it all day, all night. So I guess boundaries.
Can you share a standout moment when you saw a student really shining or growing in your class?
I really like the moments where kids make jokes and make something silly, and then I can use that with other students to help them grow. When I taught 8th grade, I had some students call John Locke the dusty old man, and so I kept referring to him as the dusty old man. Or today, whenever we're talking about World War II with the boats, the kids brought in Finding Nemo, and they said, oh, they touched the butt. And so now my 7th period for sure is going to remember that World War II happened because they touched the butts.
How do you team up with other teachers or staff at school to boost your students' experience in history?
I do this all the time. I talk to my other history teachers constantly about what they do in their classroom and what works for them, so that I can steal, because that's what teaching is, stealing everybody's ideas. And I work with the English department very closely on how we can connect things, and it's been a lot of fun.
How do you incorporate a variety of historical periods, cultures, or perspectives into your lessons to keep students engaged and help them see the bigger picture?
Well, with world history, we have to talk about all the cultures, all the different histories, so I just pick my favorite parts of the history, and I tell you guys stories, I show you pictures, I put them into our notes. Like, everything has a different vibe.
Are there any historical figures who have inspired your teaching style? How did they shape the way you approach your classes?
I wouldn't say that there's historical figures who have shaped my teaching style. There's figures that I like, but I like emperors, and you can't exactly put kids on pikes for not listening.
What kind of extra activities do you run, and why do you think those are important?
So right now I'm just doing soccer and baseball, like anytime they need somebody to run the schedule. But I have worked on doing the history club, and I'm going to be part of the Interact Club next year. And I'm also doing prose and poetry and social studies UIL next year as well.
What do you want your students to take away from learning history in your classroom?
That if you don't know your history, you're going to repeat it. We're going over this stuff with the Cold War, and a lot of this stuff is very similar to what's happening around us right now. And if we don't learn from what we're doing and what we have done, then we're going to do the same things over and over again. So if you just know something about our government, something about how we got to the position that we're in, then you'll know how to keep us from getting into a bad position again, because you are our future.
Thank you for your time, and congratulations with this teacher award.
Favorite.